Good morning, I am Eric Eshbach. I am honored and humbled to join Deb and Gary and seek your nomination for President-elect of AASA. I've served as a public school educator in Pennsylvania since 1988, and I've been a superintendent in rural and suburban school districts in Pennsylvania since 2004. And who I am is a part of this organization as I started attending governing board meetings back in 2008 in Tampa. And I recall then President Sarah Jerome as she led this board and encouraged us to work for each child. She gave us each a starfish pin. And she reiterated that tale of the boy throwing starfish back into the ocean and that endless work of trying to help one child at a time. And that really sunk in with me, that this was not just an organization that supported superintendents, but we are here to promote and advocate quality education for all children. And I've been a cheerleader for AASA through my 6 years as a governing board member and through my past 3 years as an executive committee member. I had the great fortune to sit on the governing board when Dan was selected to be the executive director, and I've seen the strong impact that a strong CEO can have on the vitality and the health of an organization. Through his leadership and the team that he's formed, AASA has become financially viable and sustainable. Because of our strong policy and advocacy team led by Noel, we're listened to and consulted by politicians and probably more importantly, staffers in Washington. We've become the leader in identifying the skills, knowledge, and dispositions necessary to prepare students for college, career, and life. And we've become a leader in providing professional development for superintendents. But we still have work to accomplish, and I'm passionate, and I felt called to be a voice for excellence for equity in our public schools. As a white man of middle-class upbringings, married to the girl that I fell in love with in high school, and the father of a successful son and daughter, I have not struggled to be accepted as a leader in public education. I've never been discriminated against because of my gender, my sexual orientation, my religious beliefs, or my race. My entire family has had opportunities to attend the best schools and have been able to secure jobs in fields where we are highly regarded. I have to admit I have a sense of guilt that the same opportunity has not always been available to each of you, to each member of our association, to every child whom I serve, and to every child you serve. I believe we all play a role in advocating for those who have not been treated with fairness, despite the qualities and characteristics that define who we are. It's my desire to continue and to heighten the focus that AASA has placed on equity in public schools. Just as AASA is considered the gold standard for advocacy, financial stability, and professional developments, I want AASA to be considered the gold standards for promoting and educating school systems that struggle through the tough conversations on what equity means in education. From the programs we offer to the staff we hire to the board policies we enforce, equity must be our focus. Thanks to the emphasis Dan and his staff under the direction of Sharon Adams-Taylor has placed on programs for children that promote a mindset of equity, I want to nurture that momentum. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So Gary, you'll be next. Tell us who you are and why you should be elected.
Thank you, Alton. Good morning. Good morning. As introduced, I am Gary Kelly, the superintendent of the DuQuoin School District located in Southern Illinois. And my career has been 22 years as a school superintendent with extensive amount of time before that as a school administrator. And that's been spent in the same district where for the past 22 years I've been able to see kindergartners enter into school, start their educational pathway, and then later I'm able to see them graduate from high school and receive their diploma. Probably the most important job I have, though, is being the father of 2 children who are now adults and have done well for themselves, and the husband to a first grade teacher. So I may be the boss at home, or excuse me, at work, and sometimes she's the boss at home. During my career, I've been unbelievably fortunate to serve in a variety of leadership roles. I've been our state association president. I've served on the AASA governing board for 5 years and presently serve on the executive committee. And again, sharing the stage with these individuals has been a humbling honor for me because I know they are truly dedicated to serving children as well. One of the reasons I'm wanting to be considered for AASA president is about service and about serving to an even greater degree. AASA is a team organization and a servant organization. Our team serves the students of our nation, and we serve those in our noble profession. It'd be my primary goal to continue to help build our team in how we serve students and how we serve those in our profession. AASA is the premier school leader organization in our country and bears a tremendous responsibility in educating our kids. There's no doubt we have a strong voice in the educational policy arena, which allows us to further our organizational mission. But we have to be a stronger advocate for our children going forward as we face the powerful assault on public education. The development of high-value programs, which we all know that we have and have been shared, and services that have been provided build capacity for school leaders in our organization. And we must continue to sustain it and enhance it as we continue to have a direct and positive impact on each and every child that we serve. If fortunate to be elected, I would continue to work to ensure that our organization continues to provide quality services to our members. There's no doubt that the quantity and quality of services our team offers has continued to grow, and as Dan mentioned, we're at 30 programs in the last several years. Adds to our membership and consequently helps serve our most precious resource, our kids. As an organization and as individuals, you make a difference every day. You make a difference every day. AASA makes a difference every day. As AASA president, I would further embrace that challenge and build on the strong mission we have as an organization. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be considered a candidate for AASA president-elect and be honored if chosen to lead our great organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, next, Deb, tell us who you are and why you should be selected.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah Kerr. I'm the superintendent of the Brown Deer School District in Brown Deer, Wisconsin, which is a first-tier suburb of Milwaukee. We put the urban in suburban. We service over 70% students of color and rising poverty up to 50%. As president-elect candidate, I bring to this position diverse perspectives, working in many different sizes of school districts and serving our children. I was the first student in my family to attend and graduate college. I've been breaking trail for most of my career and serving in many different roles as a teacher leader, the first athletic director at the University of Chicago Laboratory Schools, where I didn't know I was teaching the future U.S. Secretary of Education, Arnie Duncan, and many other leadership roles, as you can see on my resume. I was the first middle school principal in Alaska and Wisconsin, and the first superintendent in a small rural school in western Kenosha County in Wisconsin as a superintendent, and the first female superintendent in Brown Deer. I'm running for president-elect because I want to continue to advance our advocacy and promoting access and equity for all of our kids, our students, our families, our communities, but ourselves as leaders too, because we have to have this urgent sense of mission and purpose in all that we do. And I'm excited about this opportunity to work with all members of the AASA, whether it's the rural schools to the urban schools or to the suburban schools, to best serve our children. I also think it's important that we continue to inspire and advocate through innovation in all that we do. Our students are different now, and our learning environments are different than when we went to high school. And so I think it's important that we continue, and I'm so excited about the theme of this conference, Learning in the Digital Age. And I think this is going to be important for us to think about what all the possibilities are to best serve our students and prepare them for whatever college or career they want to aspire to. And I guess finally, I bring a lot of passion and energy. I'm an arranger. I have a lot of great ideas. I'm futuristic and I'm an achiever. And I'm looking forward to this opportunity to serve all of you and work very hard to advocate for all of our children, no matter what the cause or what it takes, because as Dan said, we need to be on the positive side of sharing all the great micro victories that are happening in our classrooms today. Your gifts, your leadership, and your sense of purpose will help us move our organization forward. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, very much. All right, so here's the fun part. We'll be all up here and we'll pull the question out of the magic envelope. We'll give you a few seconds to think about it, and then you have to give your answer, all right? So, I'll go up. Here you want to go first? Here. All right, take a look at that. And then what you got 6 minutes to draw that. All right?
Okay.
So you don't get it. You have 2 minutes.
The question is, the federal tax reform in late 2017 created ill effects for public education. What will you do to assist AASA in countering these effects to public education? As Gary stated, we are under attack in public education, and the most recent budget that we saw presented this week continues. And I think AASA is required and it is called to advocate for public education. We have to take steps to be in our senators and our congressmen's offices, to be calling them on a regular basis, to be a bug in their ear, to be a voice for public education constantly. It can't be once a year at the July Advocacy Conference, which is a great conference, but it has to be continual. We have to work to host events in which our congressmen and our senators are there. We have to be doing things at the local level, creating a sense of urgency that public education is truly the one platform that creates equity for all students. That public education is the one area that develops all the other careers in this great nation. And we have to advocate for that. I want to continue the work that our advocacy and policy team do, and I want to extend that by being the bug in the ear of our legislators. Thanks.
12-part question.
My question is, as president, how will you advocate for the institution of public education as the cornerstone of our democracy and the survival of democratic tenets? Context, some policymakers believe public education is an expense rather than a necessity. I think they have that flipped, that last part. Public education is a necessity. Public education is the cornerstone of our democracy. People are taught through public education all the fundamental skills that they need to be successful in life, and also to perpetuate the democracy that we have. Historically, people that are educated are those that have been enlightened to understand that government is for us. Government is something that's been established in democracy so that we have a role in that process. We live in the greatest nation ever conceived. And it's because of our citizenry being educated. You know, they talk about education. You know, we educate everybody, as we've talked about. We want to educate more. We want to do a better job in equity. They talk about in education in America, you know, they compare us to other places. You know, and other places in our world, they are tracked after a certain grade. We continue and provide pathways for every child. We want to prepare them for college. We want to prepare them for careers. Everybody's going to be going into a career. We want to prepare them to be productive. And then we have to invest in that. And we have to continue to talk to those that are our policymakers at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level. Every level we have to be We have to be vigilant, we have to be determined, we have to be focused. And if we continue to do those things and continue to inform and show them our results, show them the successes, not the ones that are conceived by others, but the ones that we show that happen every day for every child, then we're going to continue to build on this institution that we have. Thank you.
As a veteran school leader, what budget planning strategy would you recommend to a first-year superintendent? First of all, don't be sad. Just be happy that you have funding and that you will do whatever it takes to serve your children. I think it's important for all superintendents to have mentors, and so once you get your allocation for your budget is finding out, okay, what's happened in the past, what's been the historical perspective on how funding has been supported throughout your district. But the most important thing that we all do is that what resources will be needed to move student achievement forward. It's not about the programs, it's about your teachers, investing in your staff, and making sure that your teachers have all the supports and resources they need to take your kids to the next level. For those of us who work in diverse school settings, we all know that fair is not equal. It takes a lot of different types of resources to accelerate learning. And yes, it's accelerating learning, accepting kids where they are and taking them to the next level. And when you're looking at funding, it might require you to do things differently. So don't be afraid to think outside the box, involve your teachers, involve your community members to help figure out what kind of resources will best support your educational programs. The final part of this is the partnerships. We've talked about partnerships this morning. Just because you don't have the money for something, go out and find it. Write a grant. Go to your business community. Go to the foundations like we have in Metro Milwaukee area to find out, do you have similar missions that could help support you? And it's amazing what happens when you can figure out those partnerships, and sometimes you can't even imagine what they would be, but it could be through volunteering, support, donation of books for your kids, so forth. So don't be intimidated as a first-year superintendent by the financial responsibility. Make sure you have a great team and a great business director and department to help you move the district forward, but stay mission-driven. So in Brown Deers, together with our families and community, we will inspire all students to be passionate learners, creative thinkers, and innovative leaders who enrich our world. We ask ourselves every budget cycle, are we living our mission? Thank you.